Hey everyone, I'm Kristin Wilson for City Lights on Novus TV, and I'm here at the Vancouver Academy of Music as the Bach Choir prepares their epic masterpiece, Elijah. With over 100 vocalists and the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra as an accompaniment, they will tell the story of a young prophet using some of the most beautiful classical music ever written. Let's go chat with the conductor and find out what the show has in store for us.
Oh, I guess we could do, do you mind the last four bars? Last four bars.
So you guys are going to be doing a performance of Elijah. Can you tell me about that performance?
Sure thing. It's happening on Saturday, March 28th at 8 o'clock at the Orpheum. Beautiful historic theatre. Vancouver Bach Choir is a chorus that consists of about 100 singers. We are in our 84th season of existence, and we're teaming up with the Vancouver Symphony, which is in its 96th season of existence, and we have 4 outstanding soloists and principal roles coming in to take part in this. The piece is one of the most celebrated works in the oratorio repertoire. Mendelssohn wrote it in 1846, just the year before he died. The piece was premiered in Birmingham, England, and they just adored him. He became an overnight sensation. I mean, he was literally a rock star in England, so they kept asking him back, and they asked him to write a new oratorio for their festival. Elijah was the work that was premiered at that festival, and he conducted it, and apparently it was one of the great successes in all of classical music history, because it's not uncommon that actually some of the great pieces that we perform today were flops at the premiere, but Elijah was not. Elijah was just an instant hit, so it's a magnificent piece, and I think it hasn't been done in Vancouver for about a decade.
So what does it mean for you going into conducting something for the first time like this?
Well, the first time you do a piece, it's always really a voyage of discovery. It's kind of the most exciting the first time around, to be perfectly honest, because I'm always discovering new things. I've spent a few hours looking at it today, and I've been rehearsing it with the choir for a number of weeks, and there were things that popped out at me that I hadn't realized before, and that's one of the great joys of being a musician. I think that process never stops. It's just what's wonderful.
What goes into the decision-making process in terms of what you guys perform?
We tend to do the really big symphonic repertoire. I'm in my 5th season with the choir, and over the course of that time, there's pieces like Handel's Messiah, which is definitely the #1 hit of all time in terms of oratorios. So we balance that sometimes with more obscure repertoire, and I happen to love things which are sort of off the beaten track. So the last few years, I've programmed some of those things, including a Canadian premiere of an amazing piece by the American composer John Adams. It's a balancing act. You know, in each season, you want to be able to represent different styles, different music, different composers.
And how do these singers become part of the choir?
Everybody that sings in the group had to pass an audition, and they all have to read music, and they all have to be free on Tuesday nights, which is when we rehearse, and we usually put together the calendar of events and concerts and extra rehearsals, usually in the spring of the year before, so people have an idea of what they're getting themselves into. I remember my first rehearsal when I was auditioning. There was music that was new to me, but that these guys knew really quite well, and that was really wonderful because that ups the bar as well. You really have to know what you're doing and what you're listening for. Otherwise, you're just wasting people's time. So it's a great group to work with because they're very quick. They already know a lot of music, and they're very committed to what they do.
What do you think is in the future after this performance? Do you have any ideas?
We're going to Salt Spring Island in April in a few weeks to do a concert. We also have one in Abbotsford. Our wonderful assistant conductor, Camille Wong, is going to be conducting the choir in a concert at the Center for Performing Arts downtown as well. So we still have a busy rest of the season, and we're just putting the final touches on next year, so which we haven't announced yet, but I think it's going to be a super exciting season as well.
The show will be happening at the Orpheum on March 28th, so you can get your tickets now. For City Lights on Novus TV, I'm Kristin Wilson.